Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Harrisburg City Council Legislative Session. I am bringing the meeting back in order from the original legislative session on 12/18/2018. Recessing of the existing meeting. We have two items for discussion and a vote. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order again. Ms. Houston, please do the roll call.
Mr. Allett?
Present.
Ms. Bowers?
Present.
Ms. Daniels? Here. Ms. Green?
Present.
Mr. Madsen?
Here.
Mr. Majors?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here, thank you. Moving on to the Pledge of Allegiance, invocation. At this time, would someone,
Do that for a recess?
yeah, but we want to just do it again, if that's okay with you. Go ahead and do I'll do the pledge, do the invocation.
Okay. As we're sitting in this holiday season, if we could just bow our heads for a moment of silence and think about those less fortunate than ourselves, and for those in need, for those who are ill, for those who are recently departed from this earth. Let's just pause and give thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Matson, will do the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Sure.
Mr. Matson, the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with justice.
Okay, Hasha. Okay. We move on to communications. We have none this evening. So I'll move on to courtesy of the floor at this time. Anyone to my right would like to come to the mic, please do so now. No one over in the right? Okay. How about it in the middle? And to my left? Oh, wow. Wow, okay. We'd like to move on, but at this time, we're waiting for the mayor and the business administrator to come down, so just give us a couple minutes. Would you like to say something, Chair, before? No. Okay. At this time, we'll just wait until the mayor and the administrator comes, so we're going to take a 5-minute break again. Thank you.
That's good. I thought maybe.
Okay, we're back in session. At this time, I'm moving forward and allow the Budget and Finance Chair to make a statement regarding Bill number 16 of 2018 and Bill 17 of 2018.
Thank you, Council President, and thank you all for your patience tonight. Just a few quick comments, and then we'll be able to proceed with the legislation. So in some discussions with the administration, we'd like to approve the budget based on the following conditions. The first one, for salary adjustments above 5%, the Office of the Mayor will provide a justification in writing to Council for discussion in the first work session of January, and the Mayor has agreed to hold the adjustments going into effect until that time. Also, on a quarterly basis, the Mayor has agreed to make a report of any unused salaries, wages to the Council and transfer such balance to the 1998 HRA debt funds after approval of Council. The third thing, we're going to make an amendment to the budget to create a Director of Community and Economic Development, and it will be placed in under the Business Administrator supervision with no salary attachment at this time. The thought process is we will look for outside funding for that position. Mayor, do you agree to those conditions of the budget?
Yes, those sound very reasonable.
All right, thank you. I will proceed back over to Council President for...
Thank you. Moving on to Bill 16 of 2018. Pardon me?
Ordinance for amendment.
Thank you. Okay, that's it, Bill 16. That's what I was reading.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, ordinance for amendment, Bill 16 of 2018. Ms. Houston, please read that in the record again, please.
Bill 16-2018 is the ordinance establishing the budget for the municipal government of the city of Harrisburg for the year 2019.
Okay. Mr. Allett, you have an amendment?
Yes, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion for an amendment. The amendment reads as following, that we will create a position of Director of Community and Economic Development in the 2019 budget under the Business Administrator supervision with no salary attachment at this time. I just need a second on the amendment.
I second the amendment.
Questions and comments on the amendment?
Question. So if we, and I know we're making this contingent upon us being able to secure funding for said position. If we are able to secure funding for a position, will they solely be in terms of an organizational chart, they'll solely be underneath the business administrator? They won't have anyone reporting to them, or will we go back to, are we going to go back to a structure where the Director of Community and Economic Development we had Parks and Rec and Building and Housing and a few other departments or bureaus, I guess, underneath them. So I just want a clarification. Is it just going to be solely a function within the business under the business administrator, or will they have a oversight over any employees or staff in terms of, or personnel, rather?
One, I think that's just not able to be determined sitting here because literally the spot isn't in the budget and the number of reorganizations you would do to figure that out. Two, it would also depend, as it originally was, on the conditions of the funding agency. If we get outside funding, if they have specific things they're willing to fund the money to be used for the position. So at that point, just like a new allocation, like a grant or something else you got, it would come down that we got this allocation. The council would see it, and at that point, those determinations, would be presented. At that point, that's the best that I know we can do it, by putting it in there to keep the spot open.
Okay. So then, at that point, would be willing to discuss any potential reorganization if we are to be able to secure funding for that position?
So as I would see it, it would not revert back to what we had before. So I would not want to see the director in charge of Parks and Rec or in charge of Building and Housing. But I think it could be a component with planning and engineering, and I'm open to discussing how that would work. And I think it also would depend a little bit on the skill set of the individual that we were to hire. But I would not see it I would not see it the same way it existed before, but I would definitely see it being a key pivotal,
Okay. So then, contingent upon funding, you'd be willing to discuss any reorganization that would be necessary to ensure that that person was properly placed in terms of, and make sure we had enough oversight over whatever committees that they would be assigned to do.
Yeah, I'm open to a conversation based on the skill sets of that person and in conjunction with council, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
So would that person be a department head, or would that person be a director? Because I'm under the impression that that person would be the department head.
I think that was the intention of the amendment, but currently what that means, it could just be an individual in a department by oneself, or it could be part of a reorganization that we've determined that.
But based on structurally, we'll report to the business administrator.
Yeah,
Right.
Speaking to them.
I said just by function, it reports to the business administrator, which would be by default a director level position.
That's the way I understood the proposal.
Well, what is your proposal, Mr. Alec? You would want to see it as a department head or a director?
I think by virtue of
under
sitting
that
it is
umbrella and
it is
ordinance
by
chart.
putting it under the business administrator is a director position.
Okay,
So-
so it would not be a department, it'd be director. I just want to make sure that's clarified too as well. So
I'm sorry, so you're seeing it, you tell me, you're seeing it as within the Department of Administration then? Or are you seeing it outside of the Department of Administration as a full-fledged department?
No, I see it under I see it under the administration, but I want to make sure that there's clarification whether it's going to be a director or a department head. So my
It
understanding is
sounds like
going to be a
you're saying
director.
director.
No, it's going to be a director under the umbrella of the business administrator. Okay.
I think, I'm fine with that. That's what I think we're saying. Yes.
Because I was under the impression that we were going to still vote on that person as being a department head. That was my understanding in the conversation earlier today, Mr. Woolery, that whoever that person would be a department head, and this council would be voting on approval of that individual position.
I'm really open to either.
Okay.
So let's get
As
the
long as
question
we, as long
funded.
as we allow it to be that way.
It could
then I don't
either
have
be
a problem. Okay.
a director within the Department of Administration, a standalone director, or it could be its own department, which would require a reorganization. But we don't have the funding yet. And what we're doing is, I think we're allowing the possibility to be open if we can get it, right?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, please call the vote, Ms. Houston.
Yes.
Ms. Bowers?
Get a point of clarification. Is there a motion and a second?
Yeah, there was.
There's a
There was.
motion and
Then we had questions.
Mr. Masson, there's questions on
I just lost track of time.
the motion, yes, you must be asleep, Mr. Grover.
Too many Christmas cookies.
I'm sorry, go ahead, please start over.
Okay.
Please call the vote.
Mr. Allett?
Yes.
Ms. Bowers?
Yes.
Ms. Daniels?
Yes.
Ms. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Madsen?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Sorry, what is it, Bill 16-2018? Is that the one that's
The
passing?
amendment.
The amendment has passed.
The amendment
Has passed.
has passed.
Yes.
Now, we're voting on Bill 16, 2018, as amended. He will give you the information.
So I'm not understanding.
We voted on Bill 16, 2018, as amended.
Okay.
And the amendment you're going to read is the amendment at the bottom of
So
the
number
page.
3.
Number 3.
Yes.
I don't know if I can, a position of Director of
Community and Economic
CED shall be, Community and Economic Development shall be added to the 2019 budget under Business Administrator Supervision with no salary attachment at this time.
Correct.
Okay. Now we're voting, council members, on Bill 16 with the included amendment. Any questions or comments? Please call the vote, Ms. Houston.
Mr. Allett,
Yes.
Ms. Bowers,
Yes.
Ms. Daniels,
No.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Madsen,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
So I should say Bill 16
passes.
passes.
As amended.
As
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 amended.
amended.
As amended.
Okay,
Passes.
so Bill 16-2018 as amended passes.
Thank you.
You got it.
Good job. Moving on to Bill 17, 2018. Ms. Houston, read that in the record, please.
Sorry, 1 second here.
Okay.
That's not on there. Okay. Bill 17-2018 is an ordinance amending the codified ordinances of the City of Harrisburg, Title 5, Licensing and Taxation, Part 5, Real Estate Taxes, Chapter 5-501, Property Tax by establishing for the year 2019 a tax levy on land and improvements and providing for the distribution of taxes levied and assessed and providing for a tax rebate for the difference between the tax due and attributable to the year 2019 tax levy over the tax due and attributable to the year, that's like a funny word, 2006 tax levy for qualifying senior citizens.
Yes, any questions or comment? The Chair of Budget and Finance recessed this particular bill. Council members, are there any questions or comments on this particular bill? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Mr. Allett,
Yes.
Ms. Bowers,
Yes.
Ms. Daniels,
Yes.
Ms. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Madsen,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Bill 17-2018 passes.
Thank you. We go on to do business. Any new business, council member?
Yeah, just one thing, I'm glad we're able to move forward on a budget for the 2019 year. And it is my hope that if we're able to get the funding for the community economic development, that we're going to look to, like my the issue that I had with the budget had to do with engineering being moved over to engineering development, that we're able to bring engineering back over to Public Works if we're able to find the funding for the community economic development and have them have oversight over planning and economic development. So, but good work. I know it took a little longer than we all had maybe wanted, but I think we're moving forward to keep the city of Harrisburg moving in the right direction. Thank you.
Ben.
I'm good.
Anyone else? Ms. Green?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Would like this time to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and meeting is adjourned. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.